So anyway, for those that you don't know, I'm Cristina. I'm from Barcelona. You can find me as Secrina. That's how this strange thing is pronounced. And nowadays, I don't work at Lulabot anymore. So I work as an independent Drupal front-end developer, but I'm here as the Drupal CMS product lead and beyond, like also as a front-end framework manager, and now also as the UX manager. Lately, as like 1 or 2 weeks ago. And that's the most important part. I'm going to try to explain a little bit what we've been doing this past more than a year now, and yeah, let's start. Let's go first with that. So what I will try to explain to you a little bit. I'm going to start trying to give you like the vision and strategy of Drupal CMS, what we are trying to achieve, and that's quite important because that's the reason of why we're doing the things that we're doing. What's the current state of Drupal CMS itself, and what's coming, that it's the most exciting part, but sorry, it's at the end. You have to eat all the stuff that I'm going to say before. But because it's important, then you will understand why we're doing the things that we're doing. So, who doesn't know what Drupal CMS is? Yeah. Who has tried Drupal CMS? Wow, that's quite a lot. Nice. Every time more and more people, and you probably are going to say, I tried it, doesn't work. Anyway, you tried it. You tried it. So, okay, I told Pedro slides with too many text. No, and I have a lot of slides with a lot of text. You can't just push me later in my head, but anyway. This is important because this was on the Drupal strategy, and if you don't, the Drupal CMS strategy, and if you don't put the whole sentence, it doesn't make any sense. But the whole thing is that one of the first things that we started working on was on a strategy, or like where are we going? Are we just going to do a thing? No, we're going to do something, and we need to find first for whom we are doing the thing, and which things these people is going to need. And it's important that we say that we're targeting, or we're going to try to attract these mid-market marketers, and it's important, mid-market and marketers, by offering out of the box, meaning already pre-configured stuff, or best practices. It's best written there, I'm just translating, to keep the advantages of Drupal core. So that's important, and you will forget about that, don't worry, but that's important to explain why we're going to do everything that I'm going to tell you later. And we spent a lot of hours, and that slide, it's a proof that we spent a lot of hours. There's a PDF that you can download. With this sentence, it summarizes it all. But a while ago, like in 2024 in Portland, Drupal CMS was announced. Was announced mean that we started talking about that before, but it was announced by Dries for the first time in Portland. And well, for those that I'm not sure, was someone in there in Portland? No, you weren't there? Okay. So people in Portland was super excited about that. Outside Portland, people were like, what the fuck, are they forking Drupal? So nobody knew, and over time things were explained. But it was a lot of controversy at the beginning, and the most important thing is that Dries said, in 8 months, well, obviously, there was an American reference for like NASA and whatever. He said like, they sent man to the moon in 8 years. We're going to create Drupal CMS in 8 months. It was 8.5, but in January, we launched the Drupal CMS 1.0 officially to make it work with Drupal 24th birthday. Unofficial, this is recorded. Well, anyway, this way we had a few more weeks. So this way we had Drupal CMS 1, and in here we basically made it possible to have the closer thing that we could to the thing that we defined at the beginning on that PDF that I was saying. So it took 8 months and a half, a little bit more, and we launched Drupal CMS 1.0. We encountered a lot of struggles. We were able to get a lot of people working together, and that's the thing that I'm more proud of, and you will see later the slide about that. But we did our best, but it's not like the final product is no code thing that marketers will be able to use. We're still not there. So we're trying to actually get the closer possible for Drupal 2.0 plan for DrupalCon Vienna. Hopefully it's going to be 2.0 and not 2.0.rc, but let's see. Cross fingers. So let's dig into the PDF, and that's important. I promise you that's important. So the goal that we defined is that we wanted to be the gold standard, meaning the thing that people want to choose or want to use when they want to build a web without code, the no-code website building tool. I know it's ambitious, but well, ambitious marketers and site builders, whatever. Anyway, that's the goal. Doesn't mean that that's the thing that it is right now, but that's where we are actually trying to go. And you're going to say, I'm a developer, I want code. Well, the thing is that we're building a tool for the people that is going to buy you the website. And those people are actually the people that they have no idea how to use Drupal nowadays. And that's what we are going to try to achieve. So the Drupal CMS product strategy actually, one of the things that we needed to do is to define who are those target users that we were going to get, and which were the problems that we were going to solve. And that means that ideally those were new users that are not using Drupal nowadays, and that we needed to solve the problems that they are struggling nowadays with Drupal to actually reach these new users. So there was this big research doing market segmentation, understanding which are like the possible target users. I always get lost with this. For me, basically, the most relevant information from here is this one. And I really like this slide because I understand this slide. Basically, this is the target market. In here, if we go back a little bit, we can see at the, yeah, you almost don't see that. Price sensitivity, security needs, and then you have like enterprise in on the left. You have like the small business on the right. So basically, we wanted this soft spot in the, not soft spot, but like this better spot in the middle, where we have this mid-market, meaning we're not aiming to reach these small websites that a WordPress freelance developer could do for like 10,000 euros. We're not aiming to replace WordPress or Wix or these kind of things. We're aiming for the bigger side of the WordPress wall. Those WordPress projects that are big projects. And this is the market, and this is, probably you're doing this, like it depends a lot on the country where you are. This is probably more in a place that right now they have a better temperature rather than the 35 degrees that we have now in the south of Europe. Well, south, like mid, whatever. In Spain, that's not mid-market for sure. But it was kind of translated from the price in dollars for the US. But anyway, this is important because the type of clients that you're seeing here is these mid-market digital agencies, non-profits or universities. And if you're seeing here on the small, and you don't see the one for universities, there's a lot of times that there's a low budget dedicated to IT, for example, for the non-profit, or the mid-market agencies. They don't want to invest a lot of time in websites. So this is the spot where we have something to give to them that it's easier to set up, and it's not going to take so much money. So, and as I was saying, I just get too driven with some slides. Anyway, this is probably the list of competitors that we actually were trying to reach. As you can see in here, there is WordPress, but we are actually aiming for other competitors that are not just WordPress. And with this, we did a lot of benchmarking, and we did a lot of research on how they are doing a lot of stuff. So with this Drupal, with this product strategy, for the thing that we are going to build, we are changing two things to what we are used to Drupal. We want to get this mid-market segment because, okay, I'm not sure you, and I'm making this super important, but I go, how many of you explain Drupal to your colleagues with a sentence that is short, that is less than, I don't know, 10 seconds? Are you able to, you are able to explain that?
It's a CMS to build CMS.
Okay, people that is not like from the CMS world?
Yeah. My colleague.
Yeah.
My colleague.
Your friend. Well, do you have friends that are not developers?
Yeah.
I don't have friends.
It's always, do you know WordPress?
Yeah, that's
same, but for
the
bigger
enterprise
websites.
WordPress.
That's how
Thank
I
you,
explain
Mary.
it.
You see, you're so nice. She came to my, yeah, but that's it. I always present Drupal as, do you know WordPress? Ah, yes. Then the expensive one. So basically, what we want to try to do is to avoid that. And it sounds like a joke, but it's not. Like, people know WordPress. And we should be able to do just that. We're Drupal. And it's not just about, it's not people that recognizes us. It's just because eventually we should be able to achieve the same things. That's a goal. And the other one is empower marketing professionals. And when we say marketing professionals, we're not talking about the person that has a marketing degree. We're talking about the people that works at the marketing department. And usually in the marketing department, there are web designers or front-end developers or people that knows a lot about the web, but that doesn't know a lot about Drupal. And that's really important because we want to have the marketing departments to manage their websites without developers or using the command line. And when we say developers, I should add here Drupal developers, meaning that we shouldn't be experts in pre-processing the node form to be able to reach the field and then change. No. It should be way easier for anyone that wants to build a Drupal site. So basically, beyond this shift from the classic Drupal strategy, we also want to differentiate ourselves from the competitors with a product that is designed for marketing teams. We want a product that is not just you create a website and you're done. You will create a website that if you want to grow with that website, you will be able to do as many crazy things as you can do with Drupal, because you install a Drupal CMS site and you basically get a Drupal site, and that's it. And then it will have AI-assisted tools. And yeah, there will be AI-assisted tools, and you will have all the Drupal existing competitive advantages, which is like you have a really secure and a lot of other things that Drupal has. Now, the slide that I was saying that it's the most important one for me personally, and I think that for me it's like every time that I give the session, I just tell people, this is the most important, and I'm super proud of that. Well, in theory, the numbers continue here at the bottom. And at the end, there is 2024. You see the contribution on 2024? And the 2024 at the end, this yellow one, it's just starting from when Drupal CMS was announced. You see how it kicked off the contribution. And it's not the only hidden gem in here. Look at this. Organization credits. It's not just hobbyists being super happy with Drupal CMS. It's companies investing in Drupal. Companies getting excited and putting money. And that means investment for Drupal. And that means people not working on their weekends. It means people working on their day-to-day and companies collaborating together, and that's true. There's a lot of people that work together because there was, I don't know if you remember the tracks that were launched for Drupal CMS. Several people applied for the same tracks. Well, we tried to join as many tracks as we could, and a lot of them worked really well, others, well, not everyone worked perfectly, but like most of them, it was like several companies that ended up working together. And some of them actually are still like having projects together and things like that. So that is actually something that drove innovation a lot. Okay, and I'm gonna start moving on. But seriously, I'm super proud of it. Not of me, like as the community, we were able to do something really cool. So the current state of Drupal CMS, so there's the team. I think from here it's important to say that right now there is not only me as a design lead, there's also Emma from the University of Edinburgh, that is the UX research lead, meaning that there is more people on the UX and design side of things finally that is directing a little bit the decisions that are being taken. And then there are 3 committers for now, and hopefully there's going to be more and more over time. So what does Drupal CMS 1 ships with? I love this installer. I'm not sure who of you remember the existing Drupal installer, but this is like the one that you have right now. What you have in here, it's content types that you can choose from. It's basically a recipe that installs you a content type. The initial idea was actually to choose flavors of Drupal. This is what it's actually becoming, the site templates, but spoiler, that comes later. But we wanted to give people the option to choose some stuff, and that's the thing that we're giving at the beginning. And again, I'm not sure if you see the design, but that's actually the thing that I'm using for the rest of my slides. I really love this pattern, and it's actually inspired in a mix of the new Drupal brand and one of the presentations of Dries from I think it was DrupalCon Europe, but well, anyway, enough of design. The look and feel, Jean is the new admin theme because Claro fell behind, so Jean is now the admin theme. And does anybody follow the Jean issue queue?
Yes, there was an announcement today.
Yeah? It was announced today. Okay, perfect. I can say that. Okay, I can say that it's not going to be a public or she did record it. Okay, perfect. Jean is going to be brought into Drupal core. It's going to replace Claro. So yeah, I love it, but like as a Claro person, it was like, it's sad to see how whatever gets into core gets outdated. So I hope it doesn't happen with Jean, because it's like the Drupal core processes are really hard and complicated. So all of you that you love Jean, make sure that you keep maintaining Jean when it gets into core, because otherwise it's going to happen exactly the same. Hard processes, and it's going to be stuck in there. One of the great ideas that we had in the past is that we wanted to redesign Jean. Sasha was on board. The problem is that there is no funding for that. So if you ever know a designer, a group of designers that wants to work on that, put us in contact, because we don't want that to fall behind. So anyway, we have the new admin theme already, like in Drupal CMS, with the new navigation. And finally, they work together now, the new navigation and Jean and the top bar of the new navigation are going to work together, because the top bar from the new navigation also works with Experience Builder. So all the things work together, plus the dashboard. So you land in Drupal CMS, and the first thing that you see is this. Well, not anymore, actually, you see the top bar now. This is a bunch of highly used modules that you get installed and set up and configured by default. They just work when you install Drupal CMS. Some UX quick wins, like the coffee module, for example. At the moment that you start using like Drupal for a lot of hours during your day-to-day, that's really helpful. As a developer, probably it is not, but as someone that manages a site, it's really, really helpful. And another small win, because every time that I used to show like the entity reference or like just taxonomies, I used to cry every time that I used to see like the name and parentheses ID. So yeah, some small quick wins. Has anybody tried this? Personally, this is one of the most mind-blowing. You've tried it? This is one of the most mind-blowing things that you have on Drupal CMS, and I think this is super undervaluated. This is one of the things that I was saying. People sat together and started working together. In here, I think it was Jürgen. Well, I'm not sure who was that started with that. That was the track lead. But they sat together, people from the US, Australia, I think, well, obviously Europe. And I'm not sure, they reviewed the legislation for several areas. And this is set up in a way that complies with the legislation of like almost everywhere. You have to, I mean, if Africa, I don't know, and I should know, but like I know for sure that Australia, I think even, I'm not sure if even Japan, but I think someone else, I'm not sure if it was India or Japan, I'm not sure. One of the communities that is really involved in Asia was also involved on that. And it's just set up, and it just, you comply with the law just by enabling the recipe. And it's mind-blowing, and they work together. Different companies, completely different companies. So this is a really nice use case, and just use the recipe in your sites nowadays for Drupal sites that don't have to do anything with Drupal CMS. It's a really helpful tool. Something that I also discovered is this access editorially checker. It's something that it just goes through your content. It says when it's failing. If it's something that you're building for a government or whatever, it's really helpful. And you have to get used to that, but it's really helpful. And also the SEO module, the recipe that enables several modules, it's really helpful because it by default you don't have to do anything. You don't have the huge meta tags modules on the sidebar. So by default, when you install Drupal CMS, you get a lot of recipes that have been tested. They work together with Gene, with the navigation, with the latest Drupal core. So all of this works together. So we could say that Drupal CMS 1.0 was a really successful proof of concept. We were really happy. It was an unprecedented community collaboration. And we discovered and we got a lot of clarity on which were the priorities. So we would say that it was like a really good proof of concept. So we launched, we were super happy. We were like, yes, we did really well. We were proud of ourselves. We were reading because we launched and we started like listening what's the web saying. And we were happy. People were saying, wow, Drupal CMS is looking amazing. What a big step ahead of Drupal. And we're like, yeah. And then the WordPress community tried it. And they were like, yeah, what's that? So if we want to actually reach those WordPress users, not developers, users, if the WordPress developers are saying that, what are going to say the WordPress users? So we were like, okay, stop saying ourselves well done because we came from far, far away and we did something really cool. It's not, no. We are going there. We are going to try to get to those people that should be able to just install a site without a terminal, so we're still there. So basically, we also, apart from like listening on the web and looking at Reddit, we also worked a little bit and we did some user tests about what's going on AI, the whole installation workflow, what people thought after landing on the dashboard, for example. An important result of the modules versus recipes. Basically, it's not that we modules versus recipes, it's that people don't understand either. The content creation workflow was also like not the most useful for a lot of people. So we learned a lot of stuff with the UX stuff. And basically, it helped us realize that we needed to make a huge step forward, and that's why Emma stepped in. And we need to start doing this UX transformation, not just of the Drupal CMS product itself, but Drupal as a project. And that's why now it's the Drupal core committers. It's not called Drupal core committers anymore. It's called Drupal core leads, because it doesn't have to have only people that control the command line to lead the project. It means Emma, she doesn't care about the command line, but she's the UX maintainer now. And she has a voice, and she can say, that doesn't make sense. And she has the same voice as Alex Pott. Well, they are both speak English from England, so they will be polite, the two of them. But anyway, I'm super happy that there's someone else screaming when someone is saying it's just like a few lines of code. No. You need to make sure that the user understands whatever you are doing. So yeah, we have the Drupal core UX manager, but the problem that we still have is that we have very little, we almost don't have experts that have Drupal experience, UX and Drupal experience, not Drupal developers that are passionate about UX, like people that has proper UX experience. And we need dedicated specialists who can actually grow into decision makers and be Drupal core leads. So if you want and you can help some of your colleagues to get involved in Drupal, make sure that you help them jump this initial and complicated step to logging in into Drupal or adding an image on Drupal.org. I'm not sure if you still have tried it in the last months without the editor. I still have the editor, but adding an image on an issue on Drupal.org is fun. Anyway, so basically, summary, and I'm not sure how much, I didn't started it. How much time do I have? Oh, I spend too much time when I get excited with things. Anyway, okay, so let's go fast. We need to make sure that it's easier to get started and it's easier to ship to the market. So basically, one of the big problems that we discovered is that on the onboarding, a lot of people say, okay, I've installed Drupal. Yes, I have maybe some content already. What's the next step that I have now? So we want to make sure that documentation that we have is also for non-developers. We also created this launcher app. How many of you did know that we have a launcher app? You have an app that you can install Drupal in your Linux, Windows, or Mac. So several of you. Okay, thank you. It was worth it then. I didn't do it, but it's great. It was like one of the main problems that we have with the designers that were involved at the beginning is that they didn't know how to test the thing that they were trying to design. They didn't know, so now actually we can have designers testing out Drupal. So basically the new and most important thing is that we need to have like an umbrella that actually lets you have this initial installation with a lot of the decisions taken already. So we announced these site templates that basically the way it's going to work, for example, a really, really simple, small campaign or marketing site, it would be like you have to install the site template, you apply your branding, changing the colors and probably the font and changing the logo, you add your specific content and you launch. And that should be the goal for like the basic Yeah, you don't see that in there, but it's like a marketing site template. So it would be basically Drupal CMS 2.0. You would have an SDC base theme and an experience builder entity. And then a more complex site template, for example, could be the new Drupal CMS 2.0, the theme, the content types with experience builder, that's going to be available in October. Then you would probably have integrations with other things. I don't know, do you have a CRM? Do you have a MailChimp? Or, I don't know, HubSpot? Yeah, thank you. Or other features, like Umbraco? No, comerciales, ¿cómo se llaman ahora? Centarro, for example, they said that they are going to ship an e-commerce Kickstart kind of site template. These kind of things. So you will have like more complex sites, and then you will have these use cases, and you will have all these things together, and you will be able to ship something. So this is the goal of the site template, and I'm going to talk about that later, but we realized that we needed something like that. If you want to have something that you click and install, you have a pre-configured site template that is going to solve a specific use case, and you will be able to define the use case. And you all know about the marketplace. You should be able to go and buy site templates. But that's the most important thing that we identified as a way to reach the goal. You install, you get half of your site already pre-configured, and you're almost ready to launch. So that's the most important way that we identified to get faster to your final launch. And we decided that the initial sites that we were going to try to achieve were these ones. I'm not sure if you remember the first marketplace slide. We had the agency, we had the NGO, and we had the universities and governments. So the last one, we're not sure if we are going to get to be able to achieve and arrive to get this done to October. We're aiming to have at least the first and two available for anyone to download in October, a site template where you will be able to have your site template. By default, it will have, apart from the Drupal CMS and all the features that you were seeing, you will have a new theme that it's not going to be Olivero, it's going to be a new theme that is going to be configurable in terms of you will be able, for example, to change typography, you will be able to change colors, and this new theme is going to be ready with SDCs. Everything is going to be an SDC, and you will be able to change the colors, the logo, the fonts, for example, and with that, you go and you have a new new project, and if you know how to change a little bit of more things, you will be able to already start from something that is way closer to the final thing that you will have. This way, a Drupal site, finally, it's not going to be that expensive. It's going to be way cheaper. So ideally, we should be able, when this moves forward and the Drupal Association decides if they are going to build that or not, and if not, we'll have to do something on our own on the Drupal CMS side of things. But otherwise, the goal ideally is to have a marketplace where you will be able to provide site templates. You don't have to provide a theme with your site template, but then it should be compatible with the default theme that the Drupal CMS is going to ship with. So it's going to be everything released in October. And we're finishing the first site template, like literally we're starting to define how everything works together. And hopefully in the next months, we're going to have everything published. The work is done by partially Media Current, and I just realized that I'm just going into the site templates, which is the thing that excites me the most. Marketplace, hopefully we will be able to have a marketplace with site templates, and each site template will have like the name, the creator, and features, and people will be able to download the site templates in the marketplace, hopefully. And the things that we need to have ready for all future in October, which is almost in a few months, is basically Experience Builder. I guess I'm sure all of you have already known or seen something about Experience Builder, so I'm not going to get deep into that. But the goal is to have Experience Builder 1.0 at DrupalCon Vienna. Last thing I heard from Lauri was that it was a challenging date. So I hope it's Vienna 1.0, as I was saying, not .rc. But it's going to be already like almost ready for launching. It's going to be ready to starting your projects in Vienna. So, and we will hopefully show this amazing design system. What we are seeing in here are two completely different websites. And the two are dark mode because by the time that we chose these, those were the best designs. And now we are building some new designs with completely different color schemes, but they are using exactly the same design system. So this is the thing that you will be able to do. It will ship with different components. It will ship with different colors. You will be able to choose the Google fonts. It will be SDC ready. You will be able to create more components if you want, but the theme that is going to come from here, it's going to be already built. So if anyone is thinking about building their own starter kit theme, I will tell you, wait. I won't promise exactly the date, but in the next weeks, you will be able to see that on Drupal.org already, and you will be able to evaluate if that theme is good enough for you. Don't start from scratch. That theme is going to be available already. We're still building on that. Probably it's not going to be perfect in day one, but we're hopefully going to have something already production ready on the theme side of things, for sure, for Vienna. So before that, you should be able to see the theme out and working with different palettes, different, as I was saying, fonts, different radius, different, you will be able to customize the theme as much as you want. And I was forgetting, it's built on top of Tailwind. So it's going to be easy to change a lot of like the settings of the theme. So as a Drupal themer for a lot of years, for me, this is one of the big things that I wanted to build for a lot of years. And I don't want to get a lot into the details because otherwise it's going to be 1 more hour in one slide. So something important, but we're super aware, is that we need to be able to let people migrate from all the things to Experience Builder. This is an imaginary, thank you, screen. So hopefully it should be only just one click, and if you cannot actually, the automatic migration cannot do that, it's not going to migrate it, and it's going to say you, hey, there is a problem. You will have to do that manually, step by step. But you should be able to do that by all your content type, for all your content types. We should be able to give as an easy way to migrate from competitors like WordPress, for example, into Drupal. There is a big group of companies that are already working on that. I'm not sure which is the priority. I think, I'm not sure if it was Layout Builder or Paragraphs was the thing that they were focusing first. And well, you probably heard that 1 or 2 weeks ago that there is a big initiative around AI tools. So I'm not going to get deep into that. They are going to announce a lot of things integrated into Drupal itself, like, for example, CKI editor, or like alt generation or content generation tool integrated inside the UI itself, and not just a chatbot. And I'm not sure how far I need to go into this because you want to talk about that later. But it's important here to remember case 1. There are 2 cases in here that we want to take into account. For example, you want to install the site in French. You cannot do that now. We're almost there. There was a patch open like last week or almost or something like that. It's almost there. You already have the selector to install another language, so you soon will be able to use the case one. Case two is going to be more complicated because if you want to get a recipe, we need to find which are the 2 or 3 most common use cases. Give an easy recipe to set up with a wizard and a UI for that, and then have a link to go to advanced and do you want a map and try to do it by yourself. So case 2 is going to be complicated for several reasons. Then workspaces is one of the things that we want to change. This is a screenshot of the designs that the Experience Builder team has done for workspaces. Whatever, and whenever this ends up happening, in theory it should be done for workspaces, for Drupal CMS 2. This is the design that is going to take. And you will have content moderation is being basically eaten by workspaces, so you don't realize, but you're actually in one workspace already. So content moderation, and you don't have to do anything. They create it in a way that it's completely transparent and nothing changes. So to finish, basically the strategy that we have been trying to follow all the time is that we want a product that is way faster into the time to the market, easier to launch, and faster especially to launch. But we still need to do a lot of things in here to get that ready. And we want to keep our Drupal strengths, because at the end, Drupal CMS is a way to help you ship a Drupal project, but what you end up is basically a Drupal core site. So a Drupal normal site, so from there you will be able to expand that project as much as you want. So the inspirational talk at the end. Let's build something together we want to use, and hopefully people want to talk about that. There is a big push on the marketing side to try to get people outside Drupal talking about Drupal in the tech community. So those are the channels where we are trying to coordinate. Come say hi, and always feel free to DM me. And thank you.